we go. Hello, hello, my lovelies. How are you all? It's Friday. Thank goodness. That means there's no school for the weekend. Yay! Oh, let me tell you. I did not go to school to be a teacher. I did not sign up to be a teacher. But 'tis life when you have a little one in virtual school. It's something that you kind of have to do. All right, let's make sure that we've got some volume here. And that you guys can all hear me. Oops. Try again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Good sound check. All right. That's what I wanted. I'm always overly paranoid about whether or not I can be heard when I'm streaming. Hello, everyone. So let's say hello to everybody in chat. We've got Danny Davis with us today. We've got Chrissy and Lori and Kevin and good old Shanny's Chins is here. I love that username so much. Yeah, I mean, I feel safe knowing that she's not being exposed to it at school. But at the same time, it's really, really involved. And especially this year with her being in the first grade rather than kindergarten like last year, from the moment we wake up and we start school at 9:30 or at 9 o'clock rather, like straight through till like quarter after 1, we are like involved doing school stuff. So that's why I'm not streaming until after 2 o'clock, because pretty much most of our day is taken up doing school stuff. But we have the weekend, thank goodness. I can sleep in, even though I probably won't. Husband is here. Hello, husband. It also means that It also means that I get to spend some time with my husband. So that's awesome. So Shanny has done a number of streams over the past couple of days. And I was kind of at a loss about which one to take a look at. But I watched like the first, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes of this particular video, and it had me howling. So I absolutely had to do this one today. Oh, that asthma, let me tell you. Hi, Glitchy. How are you? So we're going to take a look. We're going to have a good laugh. The impression that I got from the first couple of minutes is that Shanny wants everybody to think that all these men are messaging her and hitting on her and asking her why she's not hitting on them. So I guess she feels the need to set the men of the internet straight on how exactly she feels. So we're going to just sit back and relax and have a fun Friday, and we're going to listen to the Shan talk about how much the men want her. So let's go ahead and do that. Also, again, quickly before we start, a shout out to XX. Thank you so much for archiving these videos for us. I know she did a few for Rev, and Rev deleted them or hid them or whatever. So being able to fall back on XX archives to make sure that we don't all miss all of these streams we want to look at is amazing. Her link to her channel is down in the description box below. So if you don't want to miss any Shanny or Rev content, make sure you go subscribe. All right, let's go and find out what Shanny has to say.
Let me see if I can raise this a little bit more. Come to my head and look at me.
See, now I'm not quite sure what's going on with her face, but if you watch her, she just seems to have a lot more, like, I don't know if they're warts or if they're just blemishes or what. There just seems to be a lot more going on with her face lately. And if I were Shanny, that would be something that I'm definitely going to the doctor about, because I would be concerned. She's got a lot going on that mug there, and hopefully she's seeing a medical professional.
All right.
Sorry, my kid's playing in the background. Guys? She's kind of loud.
Shanny for Christ here.
We know.
So I need to make things straightened with the men.
Yeah, the one in the middle of her forehead, the unicorn, definitely looks like she's been picking at it or doing something to it because it looks like aggravated, and it honestly to me looks like it's got like a brown scab on it, which is ew, gross. But
who I deal with online and in my life personally, I have to say this. When you come to me and you tell me you're loyal, I'm surprised you haven't came on to me yet.
Okay, so show of hands in chat. How many of you think that Shanny is being approached by men, both in real life and online, asking her why she hasn't hit on them, or that making the point that she's extremely loyal? Because I know I don't have my camera on right now, but my hand is way up in the air. I don't believe that for a second. Husband! That's hateful. She's been picking her face. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, show of hands. Who thinks Shanny's full of shit? That would be me. Absolutely, that would be me.
I just have to ask this question. Why would I come on to you? I'm married. I'm not a whore.
She opens the door for this, honestly. Because number one, she's not legally married. We know this. And even if you guys live together and you claim that you're married before God, that's not the same as legally married. So, I mean, Shan, no.
Now, I know
that's debatable, right?
a lot of you men out there, you've seen what
I don't think Shanny gets approached by many men at all. Yeah, exactly. Same. I don't think she does either. So I think she's trying to put this out here to make it look like she's getting a lot more attention than she does. Because she has been quiet on YouTube. Like, other than the last, 2-3 days when she's posted these live streams, she hasn't really been very active other than her ASMR stuff on Twitch. So she's, to me personally, I think that she is just kind of trying to create attention right now because she's been attention deprived, and now she's got to bring it back around to Shanny again to put herself in the spotlight. So whether she's being serious about this or not, it's just she's just trying to achieve the goal of getting people to watch her shit.
I can do, you know what I mean?
She's not telling the truth. No, absolutely not. I don't believe her for a second.
Okay. I know some of you men out there have known me for absolute years. And after my divorce with Chris and before it, you were trying to get with me. Now, I want to make this clear and establish before everyone in this entire fucking world that I am the daughter of Jesus Christ. And I repented from my sexual sins and from fornication a very, 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 very long time ago.
That's
when I was saved. I'm no longer engaged in fornication.
She is literally engaging in fornication now because her and Jason are not legally married. They are not legally married. So every time he puts the baby carrot in the massive cavern, they are committing fornication. So Shanny, if that bothers you, then you might want to go do something about that. And again, you're in Pennsylvania. All you got to do is go get a marriage license and ta-da, problem solved. But just saying that you're married before Christ doesn't actually count as marriage. Sorry to break that to you.
Every sexual act I've done for the past 10, 11 years have been in grounds of marriage.
Doubtful.
It has been strictly in marriage bed.
Doubtful.
And it's going to continue to be that. Now, I made a vow.
Now, see, the reason why this is hilarious, and again, she might just be doing it for satire, but she herself on video said that she's getting the D from G-Man. So if you don't want people to have the wrong impression of what you do on a daily basis and what relationships you're in, then why are you coming on the internet claiming that you're sleeping with other people that you're not in a relationship with? You know? So, I mean, it's just she's doing this to herself, honestly.
Jason that he will be the last man
Okay, you're going to have to
that I
untwist them
will
a bit.
ever be with sexually. So all you men out there, and I made this vow in front of God and Christ, by the way, and I am not attracted to men. I think I've made this established. I don't know how many times I've said this out of my mouth. I don't know why you men have a problem with me saying that. I don't know why you don't understand that. Is it because I'm with a man?
There we go. I was trying to find the right tab so I could pause the video because I just wanted to address this particular comment. Now, I personally don't have a problem with people just living together and never getting married if that's what works for them. Like, if you want to live together as a couple, go for it. Me and my husband probably wouldn't have gotten legally married unless it was a requirement of us because of what we're going through with immigration, because we're quite happy as we are. And there are a lot of couples out there that live together fine for years, but then as soon as they tie the knot, things just kind of fall apart. It really is just a legal contract in the eyes of the government, right, for certain benefits. The reason why I pointed out to Shanny, though, is because Shanny's a Christian. Shanny follows the Bible, and that's what she tries to portray to us. So if and fornication is literally people that are having sex outside of marriage, not necessarily like cheating, but like people that are not married together having sex. So she is literally fornicating on a regular basis because she's not legally married. And if that matters to her so much, then why isn't she legally married? So I just wanted to point out her hypocrisy. But like me personally, if you want to live together with your partner being not legally married, go for it. That's all on you guys. Like, you do what's best for you. If you want to be legally married, then get legally married. If you don't want to, then don't. I don't really see, like, if you guys don't ever plan on doing anything that requires you to be legally married, like, immigration, then go for it. Do what works best for you, basically. She is being hypocritical when she says she's a Christian. Yes, exactly. And that's the reason why I pointed that out to begin with. Because if you're going to be a Christian and you're going to portray yourself a certain way, and yet you are openly committing something that's against what you preach in the Bible, how can anyone take you or what you preach or what you want to. She called her audience her congregation the other day, and it was just like, oh God, no. But if you're going to try and preach the word that's in your Bible and you're not following it yourself, that makes you a big hypocrite. And I mean, this is a fairly simple problem to solve for her if she really wanted to, because she doesn't even have to have a wedding. She doesn't even have to have a ceremony. Her and Rev just need to go to the city hall or whatever and go get a marriage license, and then boom, they're married in the eyes of the law in the United States because they're in Pennsylvania. Simple as that, right? Her philosophy is do as I say, not as I do. Absolutely. But that's what makes pointing out her hypocrisy so entertaining for us, because she claims that she doesn't do all of this, and yet we constantly see examples of it, whenever she gets on camera.
Is it because I'm with a man? You can't understand that I'm not attracted to men, okay? I've been raped several times by men. Very traumatic situations, and it's caused me not to want to be with other men because of it.
It makes me curious, though, that if this has happened to her, and I'm not trying to victim blame here at all, but to say one thing, that you're not attracted to men, and then you have repeatedly gone from one relationship with a man to another relationship with a man to another relationship with a man, again, that kind of contradicts the message that you're trying to put across. right? It can be confusing. It can be really confusing for somebody that may have been through the exact same thing to come on here and know Shanny's history and then have, hear her say this. And I mean, she makes the bold statement that she's not attracted to men. What does that say about Jason, right? Like, she could say that she's not attracted to other men, but that, me personally, would sounds like it be extremely emasculating to Jason. She doesn't want to be with men. Rev, do you call yourself a man? Exactly. That's my thought exactly. Like, she doesn't want to be with men. She's not attracted to men. What does that mean about her husband, though? Her husband's a man. Is she trying to say that he's not a man? Or that he's an exception to the rule? Like, the message that she's trying to give here is extremely confusing. This sounds like deflection, as if she's trying to convince herself that she doesn't sleep around, even though she does. And even if she actually does sleep around, if you're being safe, and protecting yourself to make sure, you don't catch all kinds of diseases, there's nothing wrong with sleeping around. There really isn't. As long as you're not hurting anybody, like, say, for example, her and Rev are in an open relationship and Rev is aware of the people that she's sleeping with. That's their business. That's, as long as everybody is safe, happy, and consenting. How many people you sleep with doesn't matter. And if your partner and you are in an agreement where you can do that kind of thing, great. Now, if she was doing it behind Rev's back and cheating on him and lying to him, that's a whole different story. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with sleeping around. So, I don't see the issue there. She very well could be. And again, she openly admitted on video that she's getting the D from G-Man. So, I mean, she's saying one thing and then preaching another. That's why he has long hair, to look like a woman. He does have a very feminine look to him. He really does. As long as it's consensual all around. Exactly. As long as everybody is the age of consent and it is a consensual thing. Everybody, oh, okay, I just want to clarify. Not just consent. It has to be informed consent. If it's informed consent and everybody is of an age, then great. We shouldn't have anything to say about what consenting adults do behind closed doors. That's their business. The only time we should get involved is if there's a minor, or someone is being forced and there's no consent. That's really it. Whoops. Wrong comment. First, she claims that she's the daughter of Christ, and then a little later makes a big thing about Jason being the Christ in her life. Oh. Yeah, I can see how that's extremely problematic. She has scabs all over her face. That's alarming. It is. It is. That would be concerning. She said that she was hormonal the other day and that she was breaking out. But honestly, this doesn't look like an acne breakout to me. This looks like she's been picking at her face. And I don't know how many of you know what a symptom of doing a certain particular drug is, but picking at your face, picking at your skin, picking at your arms is very alarming, because that is a symptom of doing meth. And I know that firsthand because I have a family member that's addicted to meth. So I did see this. And with everybody making accusations about, other drug use, it's things like this that pop up that make us think, well, maybe she really is doing this. Don't forget his old lady arms. Yes, the lunch lady arms. It's I feel bad picking on people for the way that they look. I really don't think that we should do that. But when I look at him and I see, like, the shape of his body and the way that his arms is, and me working in the field that I used to work in, I took care of people that look like that on a daily basis, and they were like in their 70s and 80s. So they look like old lady arms. That's just what they look like.
When you come to me and ask me, why haven't I come on to you? It's because I'm not attracted to you. And I never will be attracted to you. Period.
I don't think that people want you to be attracted to them, Shanny, because there are women out there that have expressed their concern in the way that you behaved about you being attracted to them as women, and they're like, no, thank you, go away, gross, you, no. This close up of her face is
I
not doing her
submit
any
to my
favors.
husband.
But you
through
told us the other.
spirit and love and strength.
Okay, but you were back and forth about whether you were submitting to your husband the other day. And I mean, what we see, you definitely don't submit to your husband. If anything, Rev is the submissive in this relationship. I don't ask why she hasn't come on to me. I thank her for that. Absolutely, Mark. I'm aboard. She has kids. I honestly hope that she's not doing that for the sake of her children. I want to think the same thing as well, but I honestly don't think she gives a shit about those kids. I mean, there's plenty of evidence to show us that she doesn't give a shit about the kids. I mean, she started a stream today at like 20 after 11, and she was streaming for a good like 2.5 hours, I think. And then she does like 5 or 6 hour streams on Twitch. But at the same time claims to be homeschooling her kids, one of them being a special needs. So if you're sitting on YouTube bitching about stuff, how are you homeschooling your children? How does that work? I mean, I can understand that if you're done for the day, like what I do with my little, because she's on my computer all day doing her schoolwork, and I'm right there beside her making sure that she's getting it done or helping her if she needs it, you know? But you're trying to tell me that you have time out of homeschooling your children, again, one of them being autistic, to start a stream at 11:30 in the morning and sit there for a couple of hours, and you want us to believe that you're homeschooling your kids? I don't think so. She's definitely in charge. Absolutely. Unfortunately, her children don't come first. Nope, and I don't think they ever have.
I submit to him. Like the church submits to Christ. And if you want to go and complain to the woman about submitting unto her husband, why aren't you submitting unto your husband, Jesus Christ, and not listening to the words that come out?
Wait, did she just call Jesus Christ the husband of all men? What? That just... Oh, that opens so many other questions. What's going on between your husband and Christ there, Shanny? What are they doing? I suddenly pictured a whole bunch of Christian men having wet dreams about Jesus Christ. And there's so many places that joke could go. I don't know if I want to do that. She also knows all about obscure drama going on YouTube and elsewhere, which takes a lot of time. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A lot of the stuff that she does online takes a lot of her time. And how can you school a kid that's special needs while you're online involved in all this crap? You know? Like, I don't believe her for a second. Not a second.
Of his mouth when he tells you not to lust after other women, because that's adultery of your heart. To try to steal your brother's wife.
So then what about all that crap, how hot you've been talking about G-Man is? How many streams are there out there saying that you want G-Man, you think G-Man's good looking? I mean, it was just the other day that she said that, what was it? Something about she didn't think that her and G-Man could have ever worked, or they could have worked, or something about that. But she was basically, with Jason sitting right next to her, was talking about why a relationship with another man would have been either not successful or successful. Like, is that not disrespectful to the man that's sitting right beside you? And then you want to point the finger and tell other men that they're bad and that Jesus Christ is going to punish them because they're lusting after you, apparently? Like, it's like, say one thing, do the complete opposite, and then come back online and give everybody shit for doing the thing that I just did. You know, because that makes sense. Oh my goodness. Shan, I'm losing faith in humanity because of you.
That's against the 10 Commandments.
Oh darn.
Now, I know there's a lot of men out there, and you guys keep trying and trying and trying with your little tactics. Let's say Shanny's doing this and doing this. She's not treating you right. She's not doing this right to you. Let's do.
Is she trying to imply that that's what other men are saying to Rev? I don't understand the point of that. Or is she just talking about men in general that criticize her for what she does? I think she's kind of losing the point here.
These little male tricks, and then on the other hand, let's go to Shanny and be like, "Hey, baby, how you doing, beautiful?
No.
How you doing, gorgeous?"
Oh god, yeah, I call bullshit on that. The only men that are saying those types of things to Shanny are the love scammers. And they're going to lose out either way because she doesn't have any money to steal.
Look at you. So you put all this negative reinforcement in my husband's head while at the same time trying to make me feel comfortable around you.
So she's basically, okay, I get it now. So she's basically accusing men of trolling her, which is not really fair because there's women that troll her too. But basically, they're just trying to put ideas in Rev's head to break them up and then coming and hitting on Shanny. Now, I wonder if she's going to go into why she believes this is happening. She's delusional. Oh, absolutely.
I don't like that, men. I never will, and there's been so.
And I don't know if you heard it, but there was a Rev just clearing his voice, clearing his throat in the background. So he's obviously listening to all of this. And as she's going on about how she's not attracted to men. And he doesn't have the balls to stick up for himself and say, hey, she's not attracted to other men, but she's attracted to me. Because that, again, it seems really, really insulting to your partner. I would never say that, like, I'm a bisexual, so I'm attracted to women as well. But I would never ever say, especially in front of my husband, hey, I'm not attracted to men. Because I'm obviously very, very attracted to my husband. I put his pictures up everywhere and I talk about how handsome he is all the time. So I would never use that wording because I would personally think, hey, if I say something like that, that's going to hurt his feelings. Because if he said that he wasn't attracted to women, that would kind of hurt my feelings too. Because does that mean that I don't look like a woman? But if you are particular in what you say and say, hey, look, I'm not attracted to other women, then that's kind of a clarifying point that, okay, I'm attracted to this woman because this woman is my woman. I'm just not attracted to other women. You know, that sounds better. Makes more sense. I'm attracted to my wife and I'm attracted to you, husband, and I love you. And I would never demasculate you like that.
So many of you that have done that to me and him. And he did it to.
Wait, is she saying that men are hitting on Rev too? Huh. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me because I'm sure that he's being trolled as well.
Chris too. No. You may have broken up my marriage with Chris, but you will not break up my marriage to Jason because we are ordained by God to be together. And what God puts together, man cannot take asunder.
That means that God would have put you together with your first husband and then put you together with your second husband. Because God does all, right? So if he allowed your first two relationships to fall apart, why wouldn't he do the same to this one? What's different about this relationship opposed to the other two? Is it just because Rev puts up with your bullshit and allows you to abuse him? Could that be?
He can't take it away. He can't pull it apart. He can't dissect it.
Oh, absolutely, Dinah. 100%.
This marriage is done.
Actually, no. I'm going to take that back. It wasn't Jason. It wasn't Jason that broke up the marriage between her and Chris. It was Jason's money that broke up her and Chris. And that... Why does she sound so sarcastic every time she talks about what God does? I honestly don't know. She was an atheist for a while on YouTube, and then she got saved, apparently. So I'm wondering if maybe she did a thing, because she was friends with Brett Keane for a long time. And Brett Keane was a very outspoken atheist on YouTube. That's how people kind of got to know him. And then he flipped one day and was saved because Christians gave him a bunch of money when he was going through hard times. And all of a sudden he was a Christian again. And I don't believe for a second that he actually believes in God or Jesus. I think he's just playing a part because he knows that there's a bigger audience out there that he can play into and profit from. And I honestly think that that's the same thing with Shanny. I don't think she believes in God. I don't think she believes all the shit that she preaches. I think it's just a show because Christians are easier to manipulate, in my experience. And her audience that is still supporting her through everything that's happened in the past year obviously are extremely easy to manipulate into believing what she tells them. So the impression that I get, the way she talks about God and Jesus and all that, it seems very much like an act. I never came across her as any kind of atheist, and I was around then. That's what I have heard. I have heard her talk about her story and how she was an atheist. Now, I don't know if she made atheist content on YouTube because I've never watched any of her videos. I'm just going strictly by what the story is that I heard her tell. And with her behavior and what I've seen, she doesn't come across as somebody that actually believes what she's preaching. These people believe in the almighty dollar. Yes, and she absolutely worships money. And I mean, let's be honest. There are a lot of Christians out there that are very generous and they just need a sob story and will donate to that sob story regardless of whether it's true or not. And that's kind of awful to say, but I mean, if you can be manipulated into believing one thing, you can be easily manipulated into believing other things as well. And I think that's what Shanny's counting on, especially when it comes to when she preaches and when she begs for money. So she's trying to profit off of the good hearts of other people. And it's benefited her so far. It's got her this far, right? So why would she stop doing it now?
By God. So men, in the future, and when you're ever in my presence, know that...
Who's ever going to be in your presence, Shanny, other than people that actually have to?
Your tons of trying to get with me will never be successful.
There isn't tons of men that want you, Shanny. We don't believe that for a second. We don't believe that for a second. I know you want to believe it. And maybe this is your passive-aggressive way of trying to invite men to do this. but it's only going to invite the trolls. And anybody that is doing that to you, you know they're trolling you. Like, come on. With the reputation that you have online, you can't really be that clueless, can you? Honestly.
And it never has been successful.
It was
Because
successful with Jason.
I choose to be loyal to my spouse.
To your boyfriend.
I choose to be loyal to my spouse because I love him.
That's what abusers say all the time. I love you. I'm loyal to you. Love me and stay with me so I can continue to abuse you.
And because if I didn't, it would not be me submitting to my husband or loving my husband or taking care of my husband.
This is to keep Rev in check. She's worried that when Rev goes out to do menial labor with G-Man, he'll want to start stepping out with the first woman who pays him attention. That's a very valid point. Because if Rev goes out in the real world and starts meeting people that can actually, like, you know, get out of bed and walk around and do things and actually look after themselves, that he's going to run away. So I'm pretty sure that would be a valid fear for her. She's such a sexy thing, right? All the men want the Shanny. I mean, all you got to do is look up the Twitter and you can see all the goods that she's got to offer. I have seen Shanny naked more times than I would care to admit. Nah. Like, I mean, no thanks. Oh, I don't believe what she I can read, honest. I don't believe she was what I'd call an atheist. I believe she was a don't spend any time thinking about it hedontist. Yes. I mean, that actually sounds a lot more plausible. Is if I don't think about it, if I don't address it, then it's not a problem. It's not an issue I have to worry about. Yeah, so that absolutely makes sense. And what can we say, like, for all of these extremely dramatic pauses she's got going on here, like, for effect? Good job, Shanny. Good job. Thank goodness I've never seen her naked. Oh, I wish I could go back to that life, Lori.
My husband has done things for me that no other man would.
Yeah, he gave you $700,000. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. That's why you left Chris, who had a steady job and took care of your kids in your house, and you left that stability because you had, $700,000 to go to.
And no man ever did. My husband tries his best to please me, even though he deals with his own problems. He still tries to please me. You men out there that I see coming on to me, you just want me as an object. You just want me.
No, nobody wants you as an object, Shanny. No, absolutely not. When you're as ugly on the outside as you are on the inside, trust me, there are not men lining up to use you as an object. I don't believe it for a second.
As another punch on your card, another conquest. I'm not yours to conquest, first of all.
It's conquer, bitch. Conquer. I mean, I know you didn't graduate high school, but let's try and figure out what words mean and how to use them properly, please. Again, you're homeschooling two preteen boys. Well, one's a teenager, one's not. And if you can't use correct language, it calls into question your ability to homeschool them.
My body, my mind, my soul belongs to God, and God tells me that I belong to Jason.
I'm surprised Jason hasn't popped up and said anything yet. She's hard on the eyes, right?
And she belongs to me.
Belongs. Belongs,
That's what
people.
marriage is. It's one man, one woman becoming one.
Now, as a supporter of the LGBTQ community, like she says that she is, do you think that she would be making this declaration right now about marriage being between a man and a woman? Because all the people that think that she's a supporter of the community, she just dissed them all right now. And I don't think she really put a whole lot of thought into that. She belongs to Jason. Yep, exactly. Belongs.
Like cross. It requires sacrifice.
What did you have to sacrifice, bitch? Honestly. What have you had to sacrifice for your relationship? Because, I mean, if we look at the grand scheme of things, Jason, even though he's a douchebag, has sacrificed quite a bit to be with you. His inheritance, his credit score, his freedom, his virginity, his dignity, his masculinity. I mean, that's quite a bit that he sacrificed. What have you sacrificed for him other than just sitting around doing all this shit to him?
It requires
She
silencing
sacrificed
yourself
her
when you're
DoorDash.
really angry and annoyed. It requires love. It requires peace. It requires kindness. It requires understanding.
Yep. Diving across your husband when he's mid-sentence to squash him with your girth is definitely showing him kindness. Rev is drained. Yeah. I'm surprised that man is still going. Like, I mean, I don't want to sound like I feel sorry for Rev because he's just as awful as she is when it comes to being a racist and being an abuser to her kids and all that bull. But you can see how he's a beaten down shell of a man now. And that's kind of sad. It really is kind of sad. It's not an excuse for his behavior, but it is sad.
Marriage is very important to me. Marriage is very important to God.
Then why aren't you legally married? Why did you get divorced twice? I mean, you'd think you'd be wanting that to be legal so that you could say that you were actually married, so that you could actually share, your husband's last name. What about that?
It says in the Bible that the woman's test of her faith is her loyalty to her husband and how she raises her children. That is her test unto God of females. For the single ladies, I don't know. Serve Jesus anyway. It's good to serve Jesus. To the males, your job is to love your wives as Christ. But how can you love your wife as Christ loved the church if you don't even set an example of Christ?
Because there are plenty of religious men out there that will publicly live the life of serving Jesus, but we are well aware that things go on behind closed doors that Jesus would not approve of. And there's lots in the news and lots of arrests that prove that. So, I mean, I don't know what you're expecting here. You obviously can't be that clueless because look at the clergy that have been arrested. What the Catholics have tried to cover up. Look at the massive sexual abuse that happens within the big families of the Fundy families. Like it just abuse seems to be extremely abundant in the world of the religious, of the extremely religious. And that's kind of scary. How can we love a wife like Shanny? That's the better question. No, I don't want to be loving anybody like Shanny because I don't love Shanny. Now, my husband is the perfect example of how a woman should be loved. And I can speak to that because I was in a very unhappy marriage for 7 years before I met my husband. Well, I met him as my divorce was being finalized. There was no overlap there. Um, but I was in a very unhappy one-sided marriage when I had my two older children. And I had been in numerous relationships, not that they were abusive or toxic of any kind, really. It's just I wasn't happy. There wasn't a lot of partnership there. Um, but my husband is, I don't know, it's really opened my eyes to what relationships are supposed to be. Like, my husband still amazes me to this day when he notices something like about my mood, or if I do something differently, or if I say something, he notices and he'll bring it up to me. And it's like I've never had somebody pay attention to me the way that he does. He knows almost every little thing that I'm thinking or what I'm going to do. Um, and like on my bad days, on my really bad days, he's my rock. He's there to help me pull it together. He supports me. And I can only hope that he feels the same way about, when I support him, because he's an amazing man. And I feel he makes me feel loved and important and special every single day. And that's what we should all strive to make our partners feel like. And that's really when it boils down to, that's what we want, right? That's what we need to feel validated, we need to feel loved, we need to feel important. And if your spouse is not giving you that, then why are you in a relationship with them? You know what I mean? You're slipping, you almost said a boot. Oh, Mark, no, don't you be pointing out my Canadian accent. And thank you, Lori. Yes, I did find happiness. He is the absolute love of my life, and I'm a very, very lucky woman.
Christ didn't try to steal other people's wives.
Um, because what if Christ happened to be gay? Because he did hang around with men. He did hang around with 12 men all the time, right? So, what if Jesus was gay? I think that would actually be kind of cool if Jesus was gay. Would make sense. But whatever. Jesus Christ, steal your woman. Sorry, that just popped into my head. My bad. I'm glad, Lori. That's amazing. He washed their feet too. Yep. Why the dramatic pauses, Shanny? Come on now.
And since I'm a representation of the church, why am I going after?
Why really
would you
aren't.
expect me to go after someone who is not my husband? That would be a betrayal of God. Why would I go after another God?
Because people don't care.
If my husband is the representation of Christ in our marriage.
Because people cheat all the time, religious and not religious, so doesn't really matter.
Adultery is a sin, man.
She wants to stay in control. Yes, absolutely. The Knitting Gamer, welcome, welcome. Nice name. I like that name. I'm a crocheter myself and a gamer, so I appreciate the Knitting Gamer put together. I like it. But hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us.
So
again, more
please
dramatic pauses.
Answer me, why did you ask that question? And why did you think I was disloyal? When you asked the question, I am surprised you haven't come on to me yet. It's because I don't come on to men.
Now, this also brings up the question, and I was just thinking about this because I didn't remember it earlier. Didn't her and Rev together proposition Dragnot? Why would she do that if she wasn't attracted to him? Right? So, and I mean, the way she talks about G-Man, she's obviously got a particular kind of taste in men. But if she isn't attracted to other men, then why is she coming on to other men? Why are they propositioning other men? Brings up a lot of questions. Shan. There it was. Jason is the representation of Christ and she is the daughter of Christ. So that means, yeah, exactly, Dinah. Absolutely. It's like, whew. Hello, no one really matters. I apologize if you haven't said anything earlier. I may have missed your comment because I'm trying to read on my phone. My child is playing very loudly in the background. I apologize. She's having fun. She really thinks she's on a higher level. She really does. She has one very massive inflated ego. And I mean, when it comes to like having confidence, especially because like I'm not a small person. I'm carrying some a spare tire around my belly. You know, I'm a little bit chunky. So I understand the importance of having some confidence and what difference it can make in your life if you do feel like you're you have confidence or that people want you, you know, because that can be difficult to find when you're a bigger person because of the way the world looks at people that are, carrying some spare change. But um, she takes it to the point where she thinks not only is she this unachievable, attractive celebrity that all the men want, she views herself as better than everybody because of, oh, I believe in Jesus. I'm a servant of Jesus. Um, so that makes me better than you. And I feel like that's what she's definitely trying to portray here. She's really masking her insecurities. Yes, which is again another coping mechanism for mental health. I've been guilty of that before, Um but she's not doing a real great job here. She's not living in reality. No, I don't think she is. I don't think she ever really was. I don't know. They say mental illness causes brain damage to a certain extent. Um and it's something that's kind of always been in the back of my mind because I suffer from depression and I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder back in 2013. So it's something that I do think about a lot. And I wonder, am I being brain damaged as I'm going through these things? Could it be that she's just been through so much that she's brain damaged? I don't know. Just speculation.
I don't want a man. I have one.
I'm very thin and still struggle with my confidence. I promise it doesn't solve that issue. Be happy with your skin, babe. You're a pretty girl. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It is something that I do struggle with. And it is something, and it's one of the things that I love about my husband is that he does his best to try and boost my confidence as much as he possibly can because he knows how much I struggle with it. So he will go out of his way to call me gorgeous or call me beautiful because he knows how important that is to me. Even though I don't tell him to say that, he just kind of goes out of his way and does it because he knows how it helps me. All right. I clicking on the right tab here. Honest, I know what I'm doing.
I
Pro
have a
streamer.
man that spoils me rotten whenever he can.
You have a man that you spent all of his money. I don't think he had a choice in the matter.
I have a man that makes
Thank you.
love to me like no other man has ever made love to me before.
I don't want to think about that again, Shan. I don't no.
Because it's not about him just fucking you like most men do. He makes love to me.
Okay, all right. I just want to clarify. There is a time for the F word. I'm not going to say that because the little one was running past here for a minute. Um, there is a time to be effed, and there's a time when you make love to your partner. I mean, they're two different kinds of sex, and both happen in a relationship. So I don't know why she's knocking down one and building up another, right? Because they're both fantastic. I mean, they're both great. So I don't know why she's shooting one down. There's a chance of that. I've been struggling with clinical depression since I was a teen. I'm 31 now, and while I'm better, I'm scared to see my brain in an MRI and see the possible damage. Yep. Yep. I feel that. I mean, it's a fact that I heard years ago, and I don't even remember where I heard it. Um, but It's just, it's something that kind of sits in the back of my head all the time, especially like when I'm going through a really big bout of depression and I can't get out of bed, or if I'm having a panic attack. It is one of those thoughts that kind of passes through my head, like, what if I'm damaging my brain right now? Like, what can I do about this? Like, is it really damaging my brain to the point where eventually I'm going to get, to be an old lady and go through dementia and be stuck? You know what I mean? I don't know. So some of the things that, or some of the places that my brain goes sometimes. I even laughed at Rev spoiling Shanny. I'm working and listening, so multitasking. Okay, yeah, no problem. But I appreciate you being here. She's so crude. I mean, she is. I don't really have a problem, honestly, with crudeness if you want to talk about that stuff. But I don't want to think about Rev and Shanny doing that, especially after what I have already seen. I don't need that image brought back to my mind. It's for the shock value. Oh, yeah. That I wouldn't doubt that. It's for the shock value. I mean, Shanny does like to do that. She likes to draw attention to herself. It's all about, what can I do to bring attention to me? And then once the attention's on me, then how do I convince these people to pay me? But there's also the concept of gray matter, neuroplasticity, so there's hope. Well, that's good news. I don't know a whole lot about neuroscience, so that's hopeful. Because, I mean, I would hate to see if this was brain damage and it was permanent, and yeah. Of all the things that I worry about, those are the kinds of things that I worry about.
He makes me, and his purpose is to make me feel good.
Because he's got a baby carrot and he knows he can't do that on his own. He's got to find other methods. Again, dramatic pause.
Jesus came to serve.
Okay, you can't talk about what you were just talking about and then start your next sentence with Jesus came. You can't do that, Shanny. That's terrible timing.
The type of king he is. He's a servant king. He serves.
He's a servant kin. He's a servant kin. Yeah, he's a kin. Someone left a comment the other day saying that she drops the G's on purpose because she thinks it's adorable. And it's really not. It's really aggravating on my end. Like, you're an English speaker. Quit butchering it. Please. Cripes, how narcissistic can somebody be? It's not all about her, right? Slap a thigh, catch the... No offense to anyone here. Knitting gamer, that was good.
But yeah, you want to steal other people's wives.
Trust me, nobody wants to steal you, Shanny. Yep, that was me. It wasn't a drag video he played weeks ago. Okay, gotcha.
Why would I ever be attracted to someone who acts like the devil? Only the devil comes to steal and kill, dude.
So now she's calling all these supposed imaginary men that are hitting on her the devil? Now she's starting to sound a little more crazy than usual.
Not into the devil.
Oh, I bet you would if you could.
Never was.
Bet you
never
would
will
if you
be.
could.
I've always been into Jesus. Even as an atheist, I still love Jesus. Jesus has always been the man.
Uh-huh. Then you weren't ever really
Jesus has always
atheist
been the man. Lady. And he always will be.
Jesus is the man. Is she gonna break out in one of those cheesy raps that you see the elderly members of churches try to get the, hey young kids, let's rap about Jesus? I swear if she breaks off into a rap, I'm gonna gag and throw up.
I learned the hard way.
Well, I bet it was the hard way.
On what fornication does to a human being's mind and state of being. Tears you up.
And I'm sorry. I have fornicated quite a few times. Seeing as I've only ever been married twice, and I have been in other long-term relationships where we fornicated. Can't say that, you know, uh, it messed up my mind, the fornication. Uh, I did talk about having depression and anxiety, and I happen to know where those come from, and it has nothing to do with who I fornicated with. And I mean, if this, I don't think she puts a whole lot of thought into what she's saying, because her and Jason are not legally married. So what they're doing is technically fornication. So what would that be doing to her right now? Shanny, you really don't make a whole lot of sense. Her face looks like she was a goalie for a dart tournament, right, Roland? I mean, we were talking about that earlier, about how her face is getting worse and worse with the blemishes. It looks like she's picking at her face. It doesn't look like an acne breakout. It looks honestly like she's been picking at places. And we all know what happens when, somebody starts picking at their face to the extent that it would look like this. And that's a red flag for meth use. Doing nothing to her. She has no soul.
I agree with the Bible that it's the only sin where you sin against yourself, because you do. Every time you fornicate, you're harming yourself. You want to act like you're a man of God, but yet you're sleeping with other women in the eyes of God.
Because a lot of people just
you
don't
want
care.
to put on this state of holiness onto people, but yet behind the scenes,
I wonder
you're
if
acting
she's
like a
trying to
reprobate.
particularly call out somebody specific and is using this as a ruse to kind of hide his identity. I don't know. But then again, if it was Shanny and it was somebody prominent in the Christian community, she could always just call them out, right? I don't know. Because either that or she's just assuming that everybody that's contacting her, apparently, calling them godly. Because what if they're atheists? What if they're another religion? Like, why would Jesus then matter? Why would what her God thinks matter to them? Right? I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm just an exhibitionist and like fornicating
Only
in the eyes of anybody.
reprobates try to steal other people's swat.
Yes. I've actually been propositioned with that before. I won't say who, but it was somebody that I went to high school with, and it was when it was like early on in my relationship with Comrade. Um, it was after my littlest was born, so she was just maybe like 6 or 7 months old, and this dude that I went to high school with messaged me and was like, "Hey, I like to watch. So, if you ever want to like perform with your boyfriend in front, and I'll just like to sit in a chair in the back corner and just watch you guys do your thing." And I was like, no. No, thank you. I'm going to pass. I mean, at least he was polite and asked, right? But still.
Wives, dude. Only reprobates come on to other people's wives.
Not everybody is a Christian, Shan. And again, it's extremely doubtful that anybody's coming on to you, sweetheart. I don't believe it.
Or expect the wife to come on to them. Only reprobates do that crap.
She looks so smug right now. She
like
knows she's pulling a fast one over on her audience and that they're going to believe her regardless. That's really sad.
Man. I have the Holy Spirit.
Oh, I bet you
within
do.
me.
Oh, I bet you do.
Because I have the Holy Spirit within me, He tells me, no, you can't do that stuff, man.
Why would you need the Holy Spirit to tell you that? I mean, if you're in a loving relationship and you have decided to be monogamous, why would you need an imaginary friend to tell you, hey, don't cheat on your spouse? don't fool around on him because you're in a committed relationship. You know what I mean?
He convicts me to my soul. But then again, I don't even look at men in a sexual manner. I can't. There's no way I can look at another man in a sexual manner. It's not there. There's no feelings there. There's no attractiveness to that. Like, I'm not attracted to men like that.
Whoops.
And I'm not. Don't want to be.
Wine, not the way to get your point across. Absolutely.
I don't look.
You can't do that
at
stuff,
a
man.
Yes.
And
be like,
I've noticed that when she talks like Cheech and Chong a lot. That she'll just kind of go off into this drawl where she sounds stoned as hell. Oh my god. Oh my god, I have to save this screenshot. This is absolute beauty. This is just beautiful. There we go. Gotta save that. Oh my goodness. That is a thing of beauty. That scares me. Hi Frank, how are you? Yeah, it is scary. It's scary, but it's scary funny. I gotta save that for a future thumbnail.
There's a potential, you know.
Looks at Rev for a reaction.
Yeah. No. I look at a man as a fellow human being, stripped of sex and gender.
Demon. Yes. She gonna steal that Twinkie. I had no idea the Crypt Keeper was a woman. I don't know. She did a stream earlier today. That was that one that I was talking about that she started at 11:30 about how to be a woman. And it's just like, okay, Rev did a few weeks ago how to be a man and man lessons for David Tits. And now Shanny's trying to teach people how to be a woman or what makes her a woman. And I definitely want to look at that stream because I watched about 10 minutes of it and I was like, oh, this is just calling for it. But I just log on and that's what I see. I apologize, Freddie. Who ate that last donut? Could you imagine walking into a dark kitchen, going for a snack at midnight, opening the fridge, and just in the light of the fridge see that face? That'd be freaking terrifying. Don't eat my Twinkie.
Sure.
I have not seen that one yet. Refuse to watch your channel though. Waiting for XX. Yeah,
see,
XX
what you don't know about
me
later tonight is I'm gonna judge you by the content of your character.
Okay, but that's what we do to you, Shanny, and you give a shit for it and say that we're lying. So, do what I say, not as I do again? That's what it seems like. If it was a dismembered head in the fridge, that would be preferable. You can... Okay, we're just gonna move on because there's so many bad ways it could go after a comment like that.
When you're trying to have adultery with me, I'm not gonna look at your character very good. I'm gonna think of you as a freak.
You're gonna have adultery with me because Shanny does the English real good.
I'm gonna look at you bad, and my thoughts on you being within or without Christ, I'm gonna be like, you're the devil for expecting me to do such things for you and with you.
What does she think that these men are saying to her? Like, is she trying to imply that they're coming and talking to her in that depth about what they want to do to her? Because, I mean, granted, there are guys out there that will talk like that. And, I mean, I've had them approach me before like that, and I just hit the block button and just don't think anything of it because some people like to hide behind the anonymity of the, oh, I fucked up that word, but anyway. They like to hide behind the screens and send out messages like that, or dick pics, or, you know, whatever. And I just don't even give it a second thought anymore and just block and move on. But Shanny's just trying to use it for attention. Hear that, Rev? Adultery is bad, okay? Yeah, exactly. Like they really care. Like they really care. If it really mattered to them, again, especially Rev, being a Pennsylvania native, would be able to look up and be like, hey, we want to get legally married. Let's go ahead and get married. But I think it was somebody in a stream that I did earlier stated that she gets more money for the kids if they remain in just the relationship that they're in. So that's a possibility as well. Found out today that she doesn't have me blocked. She's been ignoring me. You can't ignore us, Shanny, all 10 and a half of us. My comments disappear when I like cuz I can comment on her stream when she in the side chat when she live streams. Um but when I leave and then come back, my comment is gone, so I'm assuming that it's because I'm blocked. But there's no real like indication of when you're blocked from somebody's chat other than like they just keep ignoring you or your comments never show up. Come on, Shanny, we know that you all want their Twinkie to meet your donut. Oh, duh. The thoughts that brings. I really shouldn't have ever looked at that Twitter. I regret it. My
I'm going to
regrets in
look
life.
at you and think you're a piece of shit for even expecting me to be like that or thinking I would be like that, because it's obviously you don't know me very well.
Well, we all saw what you did with Rev when you were with Chris, and then how you left Chris for 700K. So I think that speaks for itself. Today, kicks autocorrect in the balls. Yeah, autocorrect is the bane of my existence. They're gross, vile, greasy bags of human garbage. Absolutely. 1000%. Gotta make you wonder whether trolls are trolling her by saying crap like they wanted to get with her, and I suppose she'd show screenshots if there weren't any. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she did that with when she did the G-Man drama, like not the recent stuff that she did in the last couple of days, but like a couple of weeks ago when there was other drama, and she was trying to say that people were, I think it was Scientist Sam was paying her to not, give out specific information or not expose them, types like and things like that. If she had receipts that proved what she was saying and she could throw a bunch of people under the bus, she absolutely could. So the fact that she's just vaguely giving this information makes it less believable because I don't think she has anything. And she's the type of person that would absolutely throw it out there in public to prove what she's saying. Or she'd use it in a way to manipulate that particular person. In a live chat, you can see if you're blocked by looking at the participants tab. Oh, I did not know that, Dinah. Thank you. Next time I'll have to take a look at that.
People abandon me. I don't abandon people. There's a big difference.
Do you blame them for abandoning you, though,
I give
Shanny, or a
people
shithead?
chance after chance after chance after chance to repent.
I bet you any money she thinks she looks super cool looking at the camera through her hair, that gap in her hair, like, ooh, I'm emo Shanny. I look really awesome right now. This is what makes all the boys want me. You can see my warts through the gaps in my hair.
Are you
I
going to
believe it's either
repent
trolls or she's
from
trying to
your
make Rev jealous.
adultery
Either
of
one
the
of those is
heart?
plausible. Absolutely agree. She's trying
Are
to
you
look
going to
sweet.
repent for your hatred of fellow man?
I don't think Shanny
And
could
are you
ever do
gonna
anything to herself
repent
to make herself look
that
sweet.
you do not treat women like Christ does to the church?
Wait, what?
Christ is loyal, man. He's not going to expect you to cheat on him. And
how does one exactly cheat on the Lord? Like, are you in a committed relationship with the Lord where you have to worry about cheating? What qualifies as cheating, Shanny? Because if you're trying to imply that sinning is cheating, and you have openly said that you sin all the time, that your flesh is sin, that would mean that you're cheating on Jesus, which would make you just as guilty. Again, I don't think she puts a whole lot of thought into these things that she says. Is she a nun? She wouldn't last. You can see her tongue through her teeth. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Like, pick up a toothbrush there, lady. She is oblivious to how nasty she looks. I don't think she's oblivious to how nasty she looks. I think she actually has oh, what's it called? It's like dysphoria, where there's some people out there that look at themselves and they see something hideous. And then there's other people that look in the mirror and they see something that's absolutely fabulous more than it actually is. And I think that Shani looks at herself in the meal. She does look at a meal. She looks at herself in the mirror and is like, yeah, this is what all the boys want. Hell yeah. Nuns don't smoke pot. No, they don't. Cheat is only going outside of your partner's expectations. Cheating and not cheating changes with every relationship. Exactly. It's what you and your partner or partners decide, what you agree on. And that's why you have informed consent. Because there's lots of people out there that are in polyamorous relationships and they're perfectly happy. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be tied to just one person if you don't want to be. And as long as everybody is consenting, everybody is of age, and everybody is happy with the way things are going, then great. But some of us want to be monogamous, and that's what you agree with that particular partner. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you being here. Have a great day.
Really ain't gonna steal someone else's wife.
Okay.
If he knows.
Hang on. I have to read this comment. No, really. I had a great aunt who was a nun. Pretty badass. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's very true. They do consider them. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, some of them actually wear a wedding ring to like further that idea that they are married to the Lord. That's a good point. Gotcha. But she can't be married to the Lord because she's already decided that she's the daughter of the Lord. And again, that brings up some pretty questionable things if she's claiming to be the daughter and be married. Yeah. Don't think you want to put across that idea there, Shan Shan.
You belong to Satan, he's gonna let you belong to Satan because that's who you married.
Who's marrying Satan?
Because he's not adulterous.
Anyone hear banjos? Right?
You're gonna be judged for all of this. All of it.
So are you,
I
Shanny,
have no prize to be.
If you think everybody else is going to be judged, so are you there, lady.
One.
Such a hypocrite.
Of all.
Another dramatic
I've
pause.
already been given to someone else. Unless you want to be a thief in the eyes of the Lord.
Oh, now we're a thief. So not only an adulterer, but now a thief because we're stealing things. Oh, all those internet boys are trying to be thieves of the Lord.
But then again, I'm not fucking property.
Right? I mean, I would hella choose if I had to choose between Jesus and Satan. I'm definitely going to Satan. Like, there's no question about it because Satan knows how to do all the good stuff. Just saying.
I'm my own sovereign being.
I'm a being.
With my own sovereign thoughts and feelings. And if this
Pause
is a
for
way
dramatic effect.
How to honor my husband, I will do it. If this is a way for me to submit to my husband and let him know that I am going to stand and say no to your lascivious.
Okay, so yeah, definitely for Reb's benefit then. Oh, cripes, now she's a sovereign citizen. I know, that's not something I thought about going down that road with Shanny, but here we are.
I will stand with him.
Will you? Because you complain about how standing hurts your knees and how you're in bed in pain all day. So I don't think you can really stand with him. And I mean, we've already seen you try to take him out with the size of your body while he was mid-sentence. So we can see plainly how you support the Rev. You want to support his suffocation and his death. Refried human being, now with pig lard. Ew, gross. gross.
You know why? Because he is the representation of Christ and I am his church.
But you said that you were Christ's daughter. Oh, Shanny, you're so confusing, and we're gonna need the banjos, cause if he's Christ and you're his daughter, oh no. Oh no.
I will not do that to Jesus. I will not put that stripe on his back. You may be willing to want to hit Jesus like that. You may be you want to take that cat of night and tails and do that with your
Oh, now we're getting kinky, Shanny. No. No. This is the wrong stream.
sin of adultery. You want to do that. You want to beat the shit out of Jesus.
Oh, now
because
we want
if
to
you
beat
had
the
an
shit out of
adulterous affair with me, that's exactly what it would be. You'd be beating the shit out of Jesus.
I mean, if Jesus is God, then what does it matter? We can't hurt him, right? Because he's God. So what's the point? What's the problem? Oh, the thoughts that this brings to my head.
And I'm not willing to do that to him because I love him.
Oh, you
and I'm
love
not
him.
willing to do that to my husband because I love him.
Ooh, dramatic effect again.
I don't cheat. I never have, and I never will.
Oh, Shan. I call bullshit on all that. I don't know about you guys. Rev knows about that whip, right? Didn't they have like a furry whip or something like that that was found at the apartment? Not property. Hell, her ass has its own zip code. That it does. I'm surprised they haven't named it its own state. Just 1 second. Hang on. Somebody's at the door, guys. Oh, no. Sorry about that, guys. We had somebody knock at the door. But I want to thank everybody for coming to watch today. I do want to take a look at Shanny's the one that she did where she's a woman today. So I'll probably do that either Sunday or Monday. Rev wants to be beaten by Shanny, no judgment here, right? Like, I mean, we all have our kinks. We're not going to kink shame, but still, the thought, I don't need the thought in my head. I really don't want the thought in my head. It's CPS looking for Shanny. I don't know why they would be showing up at my door, but you know. Molly, just put it back on the table, please. Thank you. So yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we will save the next stream about Shanny until Sunday. Tonight I'm hoping to be on Gurmania's stream, which is the pinned comment. So if you want to check out his streaming channel and come and watch us, we do have a lot of fun in his open rooms. But his channel is there if you wanted to check it out, and I'm probably going to be hanging out there for some time tonight. And then tomorrow night is episode 4 of mine and my husband's show called Convince Me. We're both atheists, so if you are a theist and you feel you have sufficient evidence for your God, then we invite you to come and talk to us to see if it's convincing. But I want to thank you guys for all being here. You guys are all amazing. I have such a great audience, and I appreciate you being here. I love sitting and watching the Shanny stuff with you. It's very entertaining for me. You guys have some great insight, and I really, really enjoy that. But thank you for chilling with me and hanging out with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if not, then I will be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And you guys have a great weekend. Bye.